Hello, everyone. It's GT time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones,
Battlefront is good.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
In the super seat this week, Ben Moore.
Howdy.
And making this all happen in the booth, Ian Hink.
Hi.
There it is.
In the booth.
That was
The-
really weird.
the
You were
gentle
like
caboose.
ahead and then behind, and then it was weird.
My flow was weird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that flow. Ben, we have a very serious question for the super seat this week.
I've been waiting for this answer, actually.
By the way, are you allowed to say Battlefront is good? Isn't that like breaking some embargo?
No.
He's streaming it today. I'm sure you can
that's
say
so
that much.
weird.
I
That's
can
so,
offer
so
impressions,
weird.
I just can't throw a score up.
Persona 5 is good. Embargo broken.
Ben, here's what happened. The aliens have invaded. One alien, though, has gone rogue. It's holding a lightsaber and a Tron disc. It says, "Hey, buddy, I'm here to help. Take one of my weapons." Which do you take?
This is the best question you've ever done. I love it.
Okay.
I thought so much about this. All right, let's get this out of the way. Lightsaber, cooler weapon.
Okay, right.
It's just the color represents something about you as a human being.
Right.
That's all well and good. Okay, if I used a lightsaber, I would cut off my own hand. I can't charge into battle and swing a weapon. It's not gonna happen.
Sure.
I need to. I'm not saying I would be any better with a Tron disc, but at least I would be at range and I might have more of a shot. So I'm absolutely picking the Tron disc.
Great. Great rationale. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And confidence, too.
Yeah, well, I'm dying if I'm going into battle.
Yeah.
It's just the time to death will
Well,
change.
that's it. But for that reason, I'd rather go down, even if I don't even get to kill a person. You know, I'd rather go down looking like a Jedi.
I understand that. But you see, like, what if the alien comes before Persona 5? I need to try to hold out as long as I can.
Yep,
You know,
yep,
I gotta
yep.
You're
things to
playing it
think
with one
about.
hand and throwing the disc with the
Right,
other.
right.
Thank you for that, Ben. We should
Yeah.
move on to corrections. Begin correction music, please. Scott Cawthon. He's the person who made Five Nights at Freddy's. We have the whole story. This is from Indie Game Magazine, and this is his own words in an interview about why he made Five Nights at Freddy's. I'd made a family-friendly game about a beaver before this, but when I tried to put it online, it got torn apart by a few prominent reviewers. People said the main character looked like a scary animatronic animal. I was heartbroken and was ready to give up on game making. Then one night, something just snapped in me, and I thought to myself, I can make something a lot scarier than that. I freaking love that story.
I do. I love that story a lot.
I
That's
love
really
that
great.
so much. What a cool guy.
I actually, that's one of those quotes that kind of changes it for me. You know, now that I look at that, it's like, okay, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, and I looked at his old game. It's like some beaver game, and it is horrible. And so to me, to take that criticism and it's so much negativity he got for his horrible game, and to turn it out into something people love. That's the best. Best you could ever hope for.
On another read of that, that's like how every supervillain starts, where he's like, "You didn't like that, did you? Well, I'll give you something to fear."
Yes, yeah.
And now he's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire evil villain. He's actually really nice and does cool stuff with his money. Anyway, 5.9 billion divided by 500 million is $11.80.
Yeah, it was a pressure math situation. I don't do well with non-pressure math situations.
Yeah, I didn't do well with those bomb jumps last night, so yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we all make
it's-
mistakes.
It's corrections, you know.
Yeah, hey, there's no judgments and
Yeah,
corrections.
It's not accusations.
This is actually just an update to last week. We said Indivisible probably will not make their money on their Indiegogo campaign. They had an extension this week because they made 60% of their Indiegogo campaign. And Indiegogo's like, well, have more time.
So wait, yeah, did Indiegogo grant them the Magic Sanctuary, or did
Yes.
they do it themselves?
That was Indiegogo. They said,
So Indiegogo's like, get another shot.
yeah, there's apparently a precedent for this, but yeah, it's kind of rare that you get an
Well-
extension.
Well, I imagine there's like an invisible number with Kickstarters that it's like, if you say you want $1 million, it's like, if you get to 800K, then there's like a whole sect of people that are like, okay, like if enough people want that, then now you got my money. Like now I'll drop 50K
That's what
on
makes
it.
Indivisible different, is that they weren't that. They were like, this is how much we need. We need this much to even make
No.
this
I know you need that amount of money,
Yeah.
but like I think there's like a threshold that you have to cross. That once you do that, then everybody, because like a lot of times you'll see a Kickstarter that's almost there, and then all of a sudden, boom, it is. And you're like, whoa, what happened? And it's usually just like a person
'Cause
just
there's
waiting and like,
some
okay,
rich
finally.
uncles.
Well,
Yeah.
there's the doldrums where at first people are like really jazzed and want to get in on it, and then there's the middle part where people either assume, it's gonna make it, they don't need me, or it's not gonna make it, screw it. And then if it's close enough, they're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I literally have the top of your hair, Ian, and hand gestures. It's great.
Good.
Here's the correction of the week. This comes from Joel Rosette. The Thriller animation from Destiny is fully keyframe animated. No mocap, which is incredible. I'm an animator myself, and I need to credit the amazing work of the actual animator, Richard Lico.
That's rad to
So
know the name
really
of
rad.
someone who does something.
We were sort of
That's
talking about mocap yesterday and just around the office, and it's like, yeah, the people that like overly rely on mocap and don't like put the touches on the animation wise, like you can tell like that mocap looks kind of weird and gross.
And the Destiny animations are insane. Like, once I look at that and just you think of how many joints this person was puppeteering, insane. Well done, Richard Lico. And corrections music, please. Woo! Okay, so everyone knows my favorite way to start a GT Time episode is a game announcement. I don't know how I feel about this one. This week, Nintendo kind of stealth released something that had been in Japan for a while. It's called Nintendo Badge Arcade. Let me explain this to the panel before we start discussing it. This is a free-to-play game. Free to start. It's barely free to play. It's free to download. It is a crane game. It's all there is a crane game. You press A to determine how far the crane goes, and then it drops on its own and picks up a badge. A badge is something that you would put on your menu on the bottom screen of the 3DS to make it look cooler.
What I've heard though, is some of them can be used to replace icons or to be like folder icons.
Yes, yeah. And there are also some that can be used as folder icons, and some of them you can attach any of them to a folder as well. But yeah. So just things for your bottom menu to look nice. That is what this game is. If you want to keep playing, if you run out of the first 5 tries the game gives you at first, you must pay $1 for 5 attempts to get these badges that work on your menu.
Cheaper than a real one.
It's cheaper than a real crane game, but a real crane game gives you real things.
Yes.
And so that's really my predicament with this.
Those real things are just as useless though.
No.
Usually.
You get a little stuffed animal.
Once in a while, the ones in Japan they're great.
Well, it's
But-
also skill based, which is like that's just rough. If you have some kind of interactive thing on your gaming handheld,
Watch them
that, like,
start
you
tossing-
literally push a button. Like that's rough.
Isn't it skill based, and you have to be lucky enough to be
Yeah.
on the 9th try where it actually squeezes hard enough to pick up a toy?
Not just that.
Well, it's like some people could look at something like Bloodborne and just be like, "Oh, that's all luck there." I mean, you just there's no
that's
skill involved.
not
It's just
true.
like, it's tough. You just gotta keep at it.
No, I
you
mean,
know?
the way
That's
these games work in
patently
real
false.
life is, even in real life, they don't grab as hard sometimes. Like, that's the random element. And in this case, there's a Game Boy badge that I was trying to get. It's shaped like a box, and so there's really only one way to grab it. And it picked it up perfectly. I nailed it. I nailed the timing, and then it dropped it halfway through because, yes, that's how these games work. I still got that badge, but I got out before I spent money, which was nice. But this is crazy to me. I don't want to talk about this game too long because it's so strange, but it is Nintendo trying free to play.
But here's the thing. Again, like we go back to the especially the Japanese ones, or a lot of there's some arcades that have better stuff in them too. But yeah, like think about 2 months from now they start throwing in like GBA games and like stuff like that. It's like you have a chance to get something that like will actually last you longer and be worthwhile and be actually worth some money.
I gotta say, I'm sorry, I gotta interject one more thing. The craziest part of this whole thing, it has a rabbit who explains the whole deal to you. It's very similar to the rabbit who explained the new Miiverse games, or Mii Plaza games. At one point, you can ask the rabbit, why does this cost money? And he says, look, we need the money to make more of these badges.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's Nintendo talking or the rabbit talk. Like, that's supposed to be in-game context.
Well, the rabbit works for Nintendo, so it's.
Yeah, it's so weird and scary. Ben, you haven't spoken up yet. Is this effed or is this just a fun thing that I'm getting too caught up on?
Do you know have you ever seen the GIF where the guy like opens his hands and it goes, it's nothing. It's fucking nothing.
Yeah. Very familiar with that GIF.
I feel like that GIF is applicable to a lot of Nintendo things right now. Like the 3DS, bear with this analogy, okay?
Absolutely.
The 3DS and the Wii U, let's say they started out as a canoe, okay? That together they formed one canoe. And maybe there was a leak in this canoe at the start. Maybe it just picked it up at some point in the journey, but over time this canoe has kind of started sinking. And the person in that canoe is now just swimming to the shore. And at the end of the shore, there's an NX. There's hope there. There's potential for a better life.
Yeah.
But right now, this person is just trying to swim, and that's, he's using Amiibo Party, whatever it is, as a life jacket, but that's a little leaky too, and he's just trying to swim. This is nothing. I feel nothing about this. Like, I think it's kind of lame that they're like, hey, you liked Game Boy, so maybe potentially pay us money for this Game Boy badge. But at the end of the day, I don't have a strong enough reason to turn on my 3DS right now to even bother with this.
Whoa.
I don't.
I like that.
I don't have, and yeah, there's no reason I could see myself getting upset about it either. It's just like
It would
this is
have to
just-
be more substantial to be
Yeah.
even be effed.
Okay. All right. I hear that actually. Yeah. It's nothing. I should make one clarification before we move on. You can earn free plays because there's a practice thing that you can do once a day, and if you do well in practice, you earn 3 free plays.
Is it hard to do well?
No, but it is very random. There's a very much a random element to it. But that's what that is. I should do a programming note. We are recording this before the Nintendo Direct that happened on Thursday afternoon. In fact, we're going to try to rush to get it finished before that even starts. So any great news that came out of that event, probably Twilight Princess HD, we haven't seen yet. So that is why we're not discussing it. And so I'll move on to talk about Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is popular. And I want to know why. That's the discussion I want to have today. The article I linked to is just how it was on top of the charts on Steam. I think we learned later from a website that just looks at Steam things that it sold 1.2 million copies on Steam alone. That is an insane number. Anecdotally, Bloodworth, you said it was the highest day we've had all year on our reviews.
Yeah,
YouTube
it was
site.
higher than any day in a V3.
That's insane, right?
Yeah.
And so, panel, I would love for you to
Clearly a
explain to
fluke,
me
you know?
what is it about Fallout 4? Why is this single-player RPG so popular amongst PC and anywhere? Why is this a popular game?
There's like 5 answers to this question, right, Ben?
Give me all of them.
We could
There's
we could spend the
I
entire
mean, you
show
should.
on this.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, I nominate Ben Moore to speak about Legacy because I mean that's I think there's something really big about. Again, not to drag Halo into this, but when I saw Guardians, the subtitle name to Halo 5, I was like, oh, what a weird choice. I just love it. Just Fallout 4, guys, we're back, and I think we're back is kind of like the battle cry of 2015.
Yeah.
Just so many franchises. Mystery Science Theater 3000 this weekend got $1 million in a weekend because the guy was just like, do you want me to do this? And everyone's like, yes, do it.
$1 million,
now's the time.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is blown past any estimation.
The
dreams are coming
official
true.
slogan for Fallout 4 is "Welcome home."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you're right. You're right.
And well, what I will say before we actually get into the game itself is, again, that marketing window that we're talking about. People didn't have time to get sick of looking at Fallout 4.
I think that's
Yeah.
a fantastic point, actually.
Yeah. It was announced at E3. They showed a lot of stuff at E3. They went through all the special videos and not a whole lot else. They knew people wanted it. They showed enough to see what was new about Fallout 4 compared to the last 2 games, and there you go.
Yeah, that's 6 months. We've just had 6 months of this game.
They nailed that. Especially considering you got to know Bethesda knows the game doesn't work properly and probably won't for a lot of people that are playing it. And I think the amount of time and just the whole attitude that they had with the game, just that passion, that they really wanted to instill in their fan base, I think was perfect for the game that I think they knew they were going to release.
Just from a purely, I am not talking about the quality of the game itself. From a purely marketing perspective, I think in time we will come to recognize Fallout 4 as one of the greatest marketing success stories in video games.
Whoa.
Because okay, that's hyperbole.
Do it.
But I think it's going to be very strong.
At least of this year. It's the best one of this year.
The reason I say that, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot, whenever I go into a demo or I see a launch trailer for a game, they always tell me about what's improved. They're always like, here's the thing we had before, here's how it's better.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, that just gets boring. It's just not that interesting anymore because it feels like the same thing that's tweaked. When Fallout 4, when they announced it, Todd Howard got there on stage and he showed you the world and it didn't look like any other Fallout world. You're like, this seems completely different. You can build your own towns. Brand new. We didn't expect that in Fallout. No one was writing lists and they're like, I wonder what's going to be in Fallout, and put that on there, at least as far as I'm aware.
Sure.
And then they're like, here's weapons mod. There's hundreds of them. And it just, that message, I think, resonated with people so hard. And what's interesting is Fallout 4 itself, there's so much Fallout 3 in there.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell you that stuff. They only focused on the new,
Yeah.
predominantly, which is interesting.
And I mean, yeah, I'm fine with just talking about like this marketing aspect, this everything leading into it aspect, because that is why whatever it beat CS:GO on the day it came out, and you know, it's like it's everything that led up to it is I feel like the reason why it's been so successful. I want to know though, like, I mean, we could even bring Skyrim into this, but when you look at Steam's like daily numbers, it's all multiplayer games. It's mostly predominantly multiplayer games that you play with other people.
Mm-hmm.
This is not that. And I want to know like what the exception is with this, why people migrate to this suddenly.
I don't want to monopolize this conversation, but
Absolutely.
I've been thinking about this too. Fallout 4 and Skyrim and all of its ilk feel built for this age. There is a contingent of people out there, a very large contingent, that can't wait the day after Fallout 4 comes out to watch all the glitch videos. Or to watch, like, here's where you find all the bobbleheads, or here's where you do all this stuff. This game seems built to share with others. And that is so powerful and valuable in this day and age. And I think it's something Fallout 4 has going for it.
Yeah, it's been dominating Reddit.
Yeah.
To your shareability.
Yeah.
I also think all of these, the Bethesda games, they have a really good way of like crossing those lines between casual and hardcore gamers.
Yeah, but it's
There
a
are
hardcore
a lot of
game.
people that will just they will just jump into Skyrim or Fallout and have fun even if they don't play any other games that year.
That's what amazes me, Blood, is why do you think casual people can get attracted to such a hardcore game like this?
Here's the other thing,
Okay.
too, that I think is a little bit more nuanced than... And I'm not 100% on this, but when you think about most post-apocalyptic video games, they're very solemn in tone. They
Yeah.
are, your family is dying, go help them, all this stuff. And Fallout 4 has a lot of seriousness, but there's so much humor, and there's so much sort of almost slapstick nature about Fallout 4 that I think it takes that setting and makes it more inviting to a lot of people.
Sure.
I think the Pip-Boy is like emblematic of that. His smile and his thumbs up he's good to go.
I think it's also like, this is the most anticipated PC game of the year, right? I mean, StarCraft's pretty big, but like,
Yeah,
right,
it's
I'm just
definitely
trying
over
to think of,
StarCraft.
Because PC just seemed like PC gamers. This was it. This was their huge game.
But
it just seems to me that like a lot of other huge game experiences this year, you really. It's interesting when you brought up that it's multiplayer because it seems like it has a multiplayer sensibility because everyone's rushing to the internet. The reason why everyone's talking about it is because a very special thing happened only to them. Like I went through this game and I had, whether that's a weird glitch or whether it's a texture thing that happened to you last night, Blood, where you shared it. And like you think about the other games this year, even games that you loved dearly, you didn't end up sharing because it's like, I'm fine. I just got my little game here. It's good. Like I don't need to really get into details about the story from Rise of the Tomb Raider because you had the same story as well. Like we might have had different combat encounters, but that's about it. Where it's just, you can set off in so many different directions and, just strike fire anywhere in this world. And so I think that's like people just constantly keep bringing up.
Yeah.
And also, for better or worse, when you have a game like Glitches, or we have a game that has this many glitches, I remember one was they pulled the review copy from Steam and people had to re-download it. So a lot of people were like busy this week and then got back to their Steam accounts. Were like, where'd Fallout go? And like a lot of people were scared. I remember Dan Reichert was one. He was like, oh my god! And he's like, my save is still there, right? And I was like, no, it's just you just re-download it and you can keep playing. But when you have all these technical issues, people talk about it. You have people throwing questions out and being like, dog meat won't go in the vault. What's happening? Like my companion won't talk to me anymore. What do I need to do?
And you think that's a good thing?
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying then you have a Jessica Chobot who's like, let me tell you. And then they create this huge conversation about Fallout, whether it's good or bad. And it just eats up Facebook, eats up, Twitter, eats up the videos that everybody's producing.
But
I have to say I had a huge slip of the tongue.
Okay.
Pip-Boy is only referring to your handheld computer.
He's called Vault Boy,
He's
isn't
called
he?
Vault Boy. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I messed that up.
We lost
Peter
half
got a lot of
I know.
flack.
I
Peter got a lot
know.
of flack about calling Vault Hunter.
Instead of Vault Dweller.
It's a Vault Dweller. Yeah. No. That's save your comments. I know it's Vault Boy. I'm sorry.
What's
They already
actually,
commented,
Ben,
so-
what I love is they've already commented and now they
Yeah.
look stupid.
Right.
You wasted your time writing that comment.
Give me a chance to defend myself.
Yeah.
But I think to go back to your question about why casuals as well.
Yeah.
I think it's because unlike even other open world games, these games really give you the freedom to do whatever the heck you want, whenever the heck you want. It's like once you get out of the vault, the main quest is a suggestion.
So it's like
you just start walking wherever you want to go.
So it's like GTA in that aspect. Do you think that's why it can share a lot of that audience?
But I stopped playing Fallout 3. I was extremely intimidated by that game.
It is
I made it
overwhelming
to the
at
first
first.
town and met a couple people, and they gave me a quest, and I stepped out and just like, I don't have time for this. Like, I can't, I mean, it's not only that, like, the physical, like, actual taking of time of the process of doing missions and doing the things that I have to do, checking stuff off the list, but just where do I go? Just what perks do I spend? Like, what, like, actually just, nagging myself over those decisions would take up almost as much time as actually playing the game. Looks like Ian's going to drop in.
Yeah. I'm a bunch of hours into it, and last night, it was the first time I got to, like, the big city in the game. And for the first time, I started getting like MMO fetch quests. Like, oh, go get this bloat fly gland for no real reason. Oh, go get some mute fruit, whatever. And I'm just like, oh no.
No, skip those.
Yeah.
Those things that seem like boring and worthless, a lot of times are, but they can actually lead to
Yeah, I
some
figured.
really amazing stuff.
You're gonna have to give
So
us
I
an
wouldn't,
example.
I wouldn't write that off completely.
Yeah, I've never had, well, not to open up that discussion, but I've never had a problem with that. I mean, to me, it's like, you're going over there anyway. Here's some XP. It's like, you're going to want to wander in that direction.
Well, I
So
convinced
here's
him
an
to give me
actual
some
reason to
caps,
do
too.
it. But and you, one of the things that seemed like a theme that you kept bringing up were the surprises in the game.
Yeah,
It was like,
absolutely.
And that really attracts me to it. And so it's like, it's kind of fun to just be like, oh, here's this stupid menial thing, and then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, and then you go over and then this quest is actually much bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff that's packed in there too. That again, like you're saying, like people have individual stories. They're like, if you like whatever go to an area, and you miss a cave that's underneath of it, or you don't hack that terminal, it's like you do some little thing that somebody else didn't even know about, and you're like, what? And then they go back to get the thing that they heard you got. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
In some ways, I almost feel like Fallout 4 is 2015's Destiny, because Destiny came out and it was almost guaranteed an audience, right? Because of the good faith that Bungie had built up over the years. And when you're in that position where you have enough good faith and you have sort of a pedigree behind you, people love talking about your problems, and they love talking about your problems forever. Those are headlines that excite people and create really intense conversations. You're seeing a very similar thing with Fallout 4.
Do you think we'll still talk about Fallout 4 a year from now, like we talk about Destiny still?
With mods, sure.
I mean,
People are still talking about Skyrim.
I was done. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to go with this. Is I was done talking about Skyrim in 2012. The internet wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like for years,
You're
Skyrim was like one of the biggest games. And I don't know if it'll have that same.
Even
thing,
just
but-
the Furoda meme was,
Yeah.
was prevalent for months and months and months.
You mean Fusroda?
Fusroda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's spelled Fusroda, but do you pronounce
Is that a silent S?
It's,
That was
I don't
Florida.
think it's.
You gotta hit that S.
Yeah.
Fusroda? Oh,
The
okay.
magic won't come out if you don't hit that S.
I just don't. When he yells it, I don't hear the sound.
Basically, it's to me, it's like sometimes I really don't believe in the concept of a casual gamer, because this is a game like that is extremely complicated, extremely hardcore, that if just people are willing to play it, they'll get into it. If they're driven by what's there, they'll understand all the stupid little tiny mechanics in it. And I don't believe in stupid people sometimes.
Casual gamer, like it has a whatever slant to it, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's more about somebody. They're generally the people that aren't going to watch us. They're
Yeah.
the people that don't follow everything that's happening in video games. They just, Fallout's, I like the last one. It's on TV. I'll get the new one.
Which is, again, to go back to the campaign, because I love talking about campaigns. I think, you were talking about that fan base and comparing them to Bungie of having this install base. And I think the very beginning, if there was a 6-month campaign, the first 5 months of that campaign were directly to those people.
Yeah.
Todd Howard walked out on stage and he was like, "What's up, Bethesda fans? Here's what's going on. Go tell your friends about this, but we need to have a conversation so you can understand what Fallout 4 is." And it seems like that Wanderer TV spot is just finally them being, I don't know, it's just a great casual attitude about it. Like none of this stuff has to, seems to like, we need to explain Fallout to you guys. It's like, if this attracts you, jump in. If not, we're fine. We don't need to, like really lay all of the things out to you. Like we'll just show you the dog. We don't need to be like, here's how the dog works.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's so refreshing. It makes me so happy to see that kind of confidence. To see them have their own press conference, and yeah, they nailed it.
If any future games just do that 6-month cycle, we're into it. We should move on. Let's talk about Overwatch. Last week, officially announced for consoles, getting a console release.
Boy, this is your episode, isn't it, Ben?
It's a good episode for me. These are things I'm very keenly interested in.
Before we dig in, let me talk about the details about this release, because there are two versions on PC. There's a $40 version, and there's a $60 version, which was also the only version that will be on consoles. It's called the Origins Edition. This includes 5 skins. I think they're called Origin skins for the heroes, and other in-game goodies for 5 Blizzard games that aren't on consoles, which is really weird.
5 skins per character?
No.
Oh, 5 total.
Yeah.
Because there's more than 5 characters. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, weird.
And it's weird because like you'll get something for Heroes of the Storm and you'll get something for Hearthstone, and none of those things are on consoles. So it's a very strange thing. What's up?
The only stipulation that I would say for that is Overwatch is the most demanding of those games from a performance perspective. Like my laptop can handle the other games fine, but it can't handle Overwatch. So I think that's true for quite a few people.
Yeah, but let's like you only own an Xbox One,
Sure,
and you get the Origins Edition, and you're like,
Right.
what am I going to do? This is World of Warcraft friendly. Like, I don't need
Right.
this thing.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
You look back at this. You look at the art style, and it's like, oh, of course this is coming to consoles. It's like comparative to something like StarCraft or something.
No, I was shocked. What do you mean? Of course, this is coming to consoles.
We look at StarCraft. Look at Heroes of the Storm. Look at other games that they're making. I mean, even Hearthstone, like, is the best looking card game ever. I mean, like, there's no card game that has that much flavor, and it's a very highly produced game. It's a game of the year. But Overwatch seems like something where it's like, even if this is not on a bleeding edge PC, it's still going to look like we want it to look.
But look at-
these characters are still going to be represented well enough that you will, that's. Boy, I struggled to come up with one character name, and I couldn't.
Brandon, in Blizzard's history, since whatever the Vikings game was, after that point, all of their games were PC first.
You mean the Lost Vikings?
Lost Vikings, thank you. Yeah.
Whatever the Vikings.
Since that point forward, all of their games are PC first. Like this is crazy. I don't think it's fair to just say oh of course. You know what I mean?
Just compared.
But-
to other stuff they do.
There's a changing of the guard at Blizzard, and it's happened. Like, it's over. Like, they're no longer transitioning. They are a totally new Blizzard, and it happened after Diablo 3. Like,
What happened?
I think StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void, from what I've played of it, is an excellent game, but the fervor that there was for something like Hearthstone or Heroes of the Storm, or even like the amount of buzz I saw for Reaper of Souls on PS4 and Xbox One, Blizzard's audience has changed. It is not the same. They still have a huge PC segment that loves them, and I love them, but no one is talking about World of Warcraft Legion,
Yeah, and it's not coming out till like late next year. That's crazy.
And them launching simultaneously on PC and consoles, like, this tells me that they're a different company. Like, the comparisons to the past just aren't gonna hold up.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean they've said this is designed for consoles from the beginning.
If I'm like super happy about this, if I'm like ecstatic to play this game on PS4, like, should I be ashamed of that?
No,
Is that-
I am too.
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't gonna play it until they announced the app.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it bad that this is coming onto consoles?
I don't know.
Because
It
of
doesn't seem
some
bad to me.
like ridiculous perceived notion that this company that rose to fame on PC has to stick that way forever. No, like, if it is a great game, like a truly excellent, this deserves my money kind of game, let it go everywhere. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
So I think, though, another thing we should talk about is that people were surprised that it's even cost money, that this isn't a free-to-play game. So I do want to talk about that as well.
It's like we can't win, okay?
Yeah.
If Overwatch was free to play,
Yeah.
you'd just have a bunch of people complaining like, "Oh, Blizzard sold out. They're making this competitive shooter pay to win."
Yeah.
That would be a thing, right? And now that you're actually paying $40, people are like, "Oh man, I'm disappointed that it's not free."
Yeah.
So what do?
So you know me, you know my own perspective is I'm happy it's 40. And 60 on consoles. Like, please, yeah, just make people pay for your game instead of like compromising it with the microtransactions.
Yeah.
That might affect the actual gameplay itself. But yeah, I can see why people would think, looking at trends, looking at where the market is right now, why it would be free to play.
I think it honestly it comes down to those characters and the fact that there are so many of them that are so different that's just something that in our mind, because of the League of Legends and everything, that we expect that to come with, oh, if you like that guy, then you're going to have to pay for him separately.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's an extremely intelligent decision because when making something like Heroes of the Storm, when you have games like Dota 2 and League of Legends that are totally free, you can't release a paid MOBA, no matter how much money you dump into it. It's just not going to fly.
You can't compete.
But, you know, if Overwatch's closest comparison is Team Fortress 2, Team Fortress 2 doesn't have the same level of popularity as something like a Dota 2 or League of Legends. So that
It's still up there.
it is still up there. It's
Yeah.
still prominent. It's
Yeah.
still something people are going to compare it to, but you're not entering the same level of competition as you are in strictly the MOBA sense. So I think they're confident in feeling like we can charge full price for this and sell characters down the line, and both avenues will be successful for us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm super pumped about it, but I think it will work for them.
I think it's a bold statement and confidence for them to charge $60 for the game.
Yeah, we were just talking about confidence. You know, I love that. We're talking about with Bethesda had super confidence with Fallout, and like that's just great that they came along. And I know we're going to talk about Battleborn again later in the show, but just like, you know, what a death blow, you know, to just like, oh yeah, we're also going to be on consoles. We're going to dominate there too. Sure. It's like, ooh, you know.
The one
but-
thing I'm confused about, though,
Yeah.
is that it's called Origins on consoles. It makes me feel like it's like a stripped down version or something.
I
Are
see,
they
yeah.
the same? Because Origins to me is like, this is the like prequel. It's like the other crappy version.
It
that
is a
we're-
bad title. It's not a prequel. It
But
is.
like, why call them different names? It's
I think it's-
confusing.
Well, you can also get Origins on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it? What's the difference?
You
Can
get
I get
the skins.
Overwatch on console?
You can't get $40 Overwatch on console.
Huh.
So basically, I think they wanted to create a $60 version of it, so they added a bunch of dumb things to it. And what those dumb things are 5 Origin skins, and
For inside Overwatch.
for inside Overwatch,
Right.
and then 5 things outside of Overwatch
Oh, right,
for
okay.
various other Blizzard games.
But
And
I
that's
mean,
it.
yeah.
That's, the
That's
only
worth
difference.
$20.
Yeah.
As
Is
a-
one-
Blizzard's
one of them a
pricing
card
structure
back?
is insane.
Yeah, you do get an Overwatch card back.
Sweet. So
As-
Brandon's in, yeah.
As,
All right.
as someone who is a fan and consumer of Blizzard skins and Heroes of the Storm, like they've done some really creative things
Yeah.
in that space. The 5 skins that you get are awful.
You've seen them?
Yeah.
They've shown the skins?
Like they're just none of them excite me, or none of them feel especially out there or fun, and I'm kind of bummed by that because I know those are coming.
Yeah.
And
They're just not the
to
free
kind
ones.
of get the
Yeah.
ones that you don't want bundled together, it feels bad.
Is there a theme behind them? Like the origin, like these are like where the heroes started? Like they're all like take place in the...
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They're all little babies.
I don't know. Yeah, if they're canonically interesting, then maybe I'd be okay with it. But
Little
yeah.
Gorilla Baby, that'd be so
Yeah,
great.
Overwatch,
You do-
Overwatch babies.
If you do get the Origins edition, you get a Winston pet in World of Warcraft, and it looks amazing. But
Brandon's in. Brandon's
Yeah.
liking all the stuff he's hearing about it. We should move on. Let's talk about. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got like a hot shot few series of stories right now. Hot shot. What is Kyle? What is he saying? These
do it.
things.
Keep going.
We're just shooting them out there. Got to watch that Nintendo Direct. Anyway, Activision Blizzard this week created a film and TV studio. This actually happened last Friday, I think. But anyway, that sounds like maybe something that should have been in the works for a while, I guess. Maybe. But let's talk about their 2 projects they announced. One is an animated series starring the Skylanders called
No brainer.
Skylanders Academy. I'm surprised it hasn't existed
I
yet.
am astonished this has not existed until now.
And Call of Duty movies for the film studio, the first one to come in 2018.
I'll go see that.
Is that as obvious? Ben is not going to go see it. He's shaking his head.
I want when I boot up Call of Duty,
Yeah.
I want my time to killing people to be as short as possible. There are a lot of times when I boot up Call of Duty where I want 0 frills.
Uh-huh.
This is not what I want. This is not what I'm interested in. This is not for me. I'm totally fine with if people are into it. But
Let me get you interested. So we're not going serious. We've just casted The Rock. Now do you want to watch this Call of Duty movie?
The Rock can be serious.
Yes, absolutely he can be.
okay, Kyle, you're making me feel things because I
Yeah.
want to see almost anything with The Rock in it.
Yeah.
almost anything.
That's what I'm saying, man. It could be dumb and exciting. It could be like fast. That's
it's
the
gonna
direction to
be-
go in, I think, is you go with Fast and Furious.
no matter how serious they are or not with it, it's going to be dumb.
Yeah.
It's going to be modern, which is a bummer. It should, they should start
Yes.
how the series started, but no one ever does that. They always just do like, what are they doing this year?
Oh, can
We'll
you
do that.
imagine if it's like a World War II?
That'd be rad.
Can you imagine The Rock in World War II? That's a pretty good image.
Just getting headshots and
Yes.
like jumping around?
It'd be cool if it was both, actually. Like a modern war that takes place like in France or something, like in an old battlefield, and so
Yeah.
you like find something and you're going to do flashbacks and stuff. That'd be fun.
Um,
It could be cool. You could write, someone could write the hell out of a Call of Duty movie. It's
Absolutely,
just
yeah.
I mean, I think both of these projects make perfect sense to me. What's weird to me is, what I can't wrap my head around is why make your own studio to do these rather than like the only thing I
The
can
money
think
is
of
all yours.
Yeah.
creative control.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's why I'm shocked about Skylanders is that they just didn't. That one you could easily put out to like Hub or whatever. Like Hub, make this for us.
Yeah.
So it's like crazy that they're just making it their own. on
It's
their
like Activision's like the anti-Konami, like they're actually like no, we love these franchises that we have. We're gonna do everything that we possibly can to just more. You know?
Activision loves Skylanders, Call of Duty, and Guitar Hero. I don't know if
and World of Warcraft and
Well-
all the stuff Blizzard's doing.
yeah, I get you, but I feel like Blizzard has a little bit more autonomy with that stuff.
Activision hates Tony Hawk.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they
there's
don't
no
take care of all their
interest.
franchises.
Yeah,
This
there's,
is true.
they love
For
they love certain things.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's good. They're going to become an empire. I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, Skylanders, I think, really needs this now, especially with the more competition in that space. Like they've got to take the lessons from the '80s. That is like, you put a cartoon out there, you get people attached to these characters, especially because they have so many now. That's like they've got to start focusing on making some of those characters like actual characters.
20 years from now, there will be comic books starring Skylanders.
Yeah, and it also, one of the huge, detractors from Skylanders is it's one of the 4 toy-to-life things on the market. It's like, who's that? Who's that? Do any of you have any idea who the hell that is?
No, I keep thinking that's the bomb from
pointing,
Final Fantasy.
I'm pointing to the flame guy, and it's like, I'm not saying that he's not cool, and I'm not saying that
He's not cool.
The actor that voices him isn't great, and that's not a cool thing for your kid to be into, but like, you could point at anybody from Infinity, anybody from Lego Dimensions, and anybody from Amiibo, and I'm like, of course it's Luigi, So like, you do the show, and like, okay, now I
good
know
idea.
it because my kids are, I've seen 10 episodes of the show. I know who Storm Blaster is. I got it.
What was that love potion one you guys came up with?
Love
I don't want
Potion
to talk. That
Pop
was
Fizz.
that was. I
Battleborn
can't
has
believe that.
been delayed from February to May of 2015. That's a pretty. Ian, why you?
They should just cancel it, man.
They should not just cancel it. I'm encouraged by this delay. I think it's a good thing. Does anyone else back me up with that?
Yeah, I wonder if this is just
Wait,
kind of
May of 2015, huh?
2016.
2016.
Look
Oh
at the
my
graphic.
God. Yep. Kyle's got to learn his years. Okay, so May of 2016, obviously. That is next year. I think that's a good decision.
They should be Easter eggs. You should make like a tiny mistake in all of the slides, and at the end of the show,
The thing
it's
that's-
like finding the cat on She-Ra. You're just like, where was he?
The thing that's a little weird to me. I mean, yes, they should do what they can to like try to like salvage this, get some good buzz, like really make the game as good as it can be. I feel like what people have against this game like has nothing to do with how good it actually is.
You're saying they don't think you can fix anything
Like there's
in those
this
3
like
months.
this perception, there's a stigma on it that's like, I'm just gonna play Overwatch and I'm not gonna play this.
I get where you're coming from, but I think in some ways that stigma has to be earned, right? Like I've played Battleborn. I've seen so much Battleborn. People have been playing, what is it, the alpha or the beta of Battleborn?
I don't know if they're in beta yet.
It's
They've been
it's like
playing
a
something. I saw people
closed beta.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah,
early
I
beta.
just maybe this will change, but I feel like at a certain point, after a certain amount of exposure, if people aren't excited about your game, you can think however good it is you want, but that doesn't. There's something you need to fix there.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know if it's the tone, I don't know if it's the style of game. Like something has to change.
I think the 3 months might be good for their marketing team as well. I think
Sure.
you
and
can.
to figure it out.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think of the times I've spent a lot of time playing Battleborn, and like it's like you're saying, like I can't really put my finger on what, if anything, that they're doing wrong. I just
Right.
think there's some genres in this industry, unlike others, that there is no award for second place. Like
Right.
you
Exactly.
the distance between a Halo 5 and a Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is like they're both going to kick ass, whereas like the distance between the success of Overwatch and the success of this is probably going to be a lot greater.
That's
Even
what's
though
scary.
they're both fun. They're both,
Right.
there are characters I'm looking forward to playing in Battleborn just as much as characters from Overwatch that I identify more with immediately. I'm just like, that's my guy.
Right.
So this is actually interesting, Brandon. The no second place talk. We can transition well with this because I want to talk about Rainbow Six Siege. They announced their DLC plans, and this is a game that we gave no chance to. It's coming out in December.
No, we gave it a chance.
We forgot.
Well,
it
we're
even
saying-
was
we're saying it
this
probably doesn't
year.
have a good chance this
I'm
year.
ashamed of that.
There's not enough in that game.
Wow.
There's not enough.
Okay.
That's the shooter argument of 2015. I mean, like they're all competent shooters. It's just a question of like, what do you get?
So I want to talk about what makes it unique. And here's what they've announced is that all new maps will be free. Operators, the new characters that come out, can be earnable in the game. Here's how that works. There's two currencies. There's Renown and R6 credits. R6 credits are the real money. Renown is what you earn in the game. DLC characters going forward will cost 25,000 Renown each, which Ubisoft believes to be about 25 hours of playing the game. The new characters can also be purchased for 600 R6 credits, which is $4.99 US dollars. So that is them saying that 25 hours of your time is worth
I love that equation. Yeah.
$4.99.
Yeah, I was like, buying those is way worth it.
Because for mobile, it's actually I think it's like 5 minutes to the dollar. I think is usually like what I see. You spend $1, like you can make that up, whatever that is, in 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, really? They have like a metric? Like
I did my own math on that at one point.
Okay. And so here we're saying you could skip 25 hours of playing the game for $5.
Which, if there's only really, like character stuff like that, unless you're like, crazy obsessed, if they announce, what they are ahead of time, like I think you could be like, okay, I don't need these, but I do need that one, so
Yeah.
that's the one I'm gonna save up for.
Well, and also if they come out later, like after you've already been playing the game for a week,
They do come out later, yeah.
You've got enough money to buy one if you only want one, in
Yeah.
game.
As somebody who tries to play a lot of games, something that I found with myself, like there was a period of time where in Heroes of the Storm, I was like, okay, I'm not going to spend any real money getting heroes. I'm going to earn it in game, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
And so any other game that came out that I was interested in that had these sorts of transactions, I just felt exhausted looking at them, and I ended up not playing them because I'm like, no, I'm already doing this. Like I can't do this with everything. I can only do this with one thing, and I don't want to pay. I'm already buying a ton of games. And so, when Street Fighter V comes out, that to me is going to be the game where I'm going to put in the effort to get the fight money so I can get better at the game. And like, I'm not going to I don't have time for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting choice, I think, that people have to make now that they didn't have to before, is when everybody is doing this, where do you put your time?
I know the whole idea of like financial stretch goals are always like they kind of had that issue with the pre-order stuff for Mankind Divided, but like I wonder if it would be interesting for some company to test, and they probably wouldn't make as much money, but to test kind of like a work threshold. So it's not 25K, that's it. It's 25K or nothing. It's like if you get 10K, then it takes $1 away. If you get 20K, then it takes $2 away. So like you just kind of add up like how much have I actually put in, and then that'll drop the price a little bit
I
as
see what you're
opposed to
saying.
just like
That's
all or
interesting.
nothing.
Yeah.
So you can at least work towards saving yourself some money. It'd be interesting, like if Hearthstone implemented that, or if that, if it was just kind of like a mix between real money and gold.
I should also mention before we move on that there are weapon skins, some that can be purchased with Renown, some that can be purchased with US dollars, and some that can be purchased with both. That I'm totally cool with. Skins, absolutely. Skins that can only be earned by playing the game is awesome. Skins that you can only buy with real money is awesome. That's funny. The ones that you earn in game are like the realistic camo ones, and then the ones you spend US dollars on is like a shark. It's like a shark gun. So it's just totally like, yeah, that makes sense. Like if you're spending money, you want the shark gun. We should move on though. Let's go to, well, you're the one that started this conversation. I'm going to go with the faster question. This comes from Alexander Zerniav. Oh my gosh, why didn't I even practice it? Zerniav. You know what? Fix me in the comments. I love RPGs, but I've spent so much time playing Dragon Age and Witcher during the last 12 months that right now I want to play anything but an RPG. I know that I will like Fallout 4 very much, but I just have no desire to play it for a couple of months. Does anyone here have that same feeling with
I
games?
think all three of us.
It's called getting older.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard, you know, like, even as much as I love Fallout 3 and as much as, like, Fallout 4, that was the game I was waiting for this fall. It's like, man, I jump in and I'm like, oh, man, this huge world. And I just got done with Assassins not that long ago. And just like, you know, it's like, I kind of have to force myself through the first couple of hours just to start absorbing it and, like, learning the new systems and, like, how much of this stuff do I need to pick up? And I ask Twitter, and they're like, pick up everything. I'm like, I don't want to pick up everything.
Huber and I talk about this all the time. The zeitgeist is very important to us.
Yes.
And what I've learned about myself, like I've played 4 hours of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I actually really like it, which I was not expecting. I can't wait to get back to that game. But my affection toward Assassin's Creed is not the same level of affection that I have with other series. I enjoy it, but I don't love it. I don't go on Reddits about it. I don't go to GAF looking for Assassin's Creed information. But I've been a giant Fallout fan forever. Like, no matter what, I would drop everything just to be part of that first week, to be part of that excitement, to see people figuring it out. Like, that's really important to me because I care about this series. And those are sort of the emotions that you have to figure out with yourself. You know, like when a Pokemon game, I'm just making assumptions here, but when a Pokemon game comes out, like, you want to be part of that, right?
Yes.
Like whatever else is going on in your gaming library doesn't matter at that moment. And I think that's pretty easy to do if you've been playing games for a while.
Immersion is very, very important to me. That's one of like the values that I treasure most in games. And to me, it's all or nothing. Like, I can't get half immersed in a game. I can't just like put my toe in the pool. Like, I'm either, and like Overwatch is a great example. Like, I won't be immersed in Overwatch. Like, I will play it and love it and it'll be great. You know, but like, I'm not gonna like, okay, you know, like I really want to get good at this guy. Kind of like a fighting game. It's like I don't enjoy fighting games because like, well, I clearly need to put 20 more hours into this, just this one character to even be like competent at this.
What do you get immersed in?
Games like Fallout, games like The Witcher, games like Dragon Age. He brought up Dragon Age, and man, that makes me depressed. I beat Dragon Age 1 and 2 several times, like for GT features and just for my own enjoyment, and I didn't touch Dragon Age 3. Man, like, it's so tough to just leave a franchise like that behind because I just have other priorities. And so it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, I actually had a discussion today where I'm just kind of looking for Game of the Year awards and being like, okay, what do I need to finish? So then I know, like, okay, Fallout, sorry, you're 2016. I'll get to you later. Because I can't, you know, getting through that game is not just kind of like a spectator sport where I'm just like, this game's fun. It's like, no, I am this guy. I am this wanderer. I am real, you know, I'm gonna take 30 minutes customizing this guy. To me, that's just personally is the only way to play that.
Well, there have been games that I've waited on, and I actually regretted waiting because they seemed even more overwhelming. Like, if we use Fallout 3, for example, like, at a certain point, that game had 4 substantial add-ons to it. And if, like, I would have come to that game after all of those add-ons would have been out, not only...
It's like double the length.
Yeah, and it, like, that sometimes drives me away even more. And
Sure.
I think it's something because there's a season pass out for Fallout 4. Like, more is on its way. You have to think about that,
It's like
too.
the Borderlands pack, you know, like
Oh,
you can pick
yeah.
up, like,
Yeah.
you know, 2, and it's like, oh my god, they just like all the box art in the trailer, like gung 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 gung. And it's just like, that doesn't entice me. Like, that seems terrifying.
Before we should move on, I want to make a programming note again. Brandon beat Metal Gear Solid 5.
I did. The one thing that I'm really curious about is
boy.
Weird.
That's strange.
do you know? I mean, like, it's of all the games that I've not only played this year, but the last couple of years, it was like, oh.
It was definitely. I
Okay.
texted Brad at the end. I was like, "Did I beat the game?"
Yeah, the credits were rolling, and I was like, okay. Especially because I saw people mentioning, like, oh my god, level 38. Oh my god, mission 42. And I, like, you know, at mission 30, got credits. And was like, oh, okay. But somebody just hit me up on Twitter today and was like, did you do Quiet's last mission? And I'm like, I don't think so. I really want to do that.
Yeah, that's optional though. Like, you beat the game. You finished it.
But you should see it. You should see Quiet's mission.
Oh, it's so hard though.
I
Okay.
maxed her out like at level 16 or whatever, and then you guys all hated the end of the game, so I stopped playing.
Do you have to get to 100? Is that how you unlock it? Or do
You have
is
to
it a side ops
max
thing,
out
or-
her bond to get the
Right,
mission.
and that's 100, right? Isn't that the cap for Bond? Or it's just the icons, right? If
100,
it fills
yeah.
up
I
all the
think
little
that's 100.
logos,
Yeah.
then
It's a number.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
You'll know.
okay.
When does it happen? How do you do it?
You have to get.
just happens
You
and
have to
a
get
mission
much
appears.
farther than where you're at
Than where I
currently.
am.
But it's one of
I'm
those-
still
it's
in
one of those
chapter
gold side
1 or
ops, right?
2 or whatever.
It's like a.
It-
Oh,
It'll
you're
be
still in
gold.
Act 1? Yeah, you get it in Act 2.
It is a yellow side
Oh,
up.
actually, no, it's not. It's a tricky one. You think it's a normal side op, and then it is.
Okay.
It isn't. It's very cool.
Just
Sorry
like how
I
you
ruined that,
meter.
everybody.
It is confusing, yes.
Time for bets. Star Wars Battlefront releases next week. On the PlayStation 4 version of the game, we're going to start a random match of Walker Assault on Hoth. Without making any modifications, we're going to straight in. Brandon, he's going to do this actually. We're going to start the match just pressing forward all the way on the left analog stick.
That's mine.
How long will we last before
Ben's
dying?
down there.
Ben has lost his bet. Ben, how long are we going to last before our first death?
15 seconds.
Yeah, nice.
He's probably right.
Okay, Bloodworth, how long are we going to
Mine
last?
is a complete long shot, stupid bet. But here we go.
Ooh.
6 minutes.
I like it.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, because we could be just running up against
I'm
the wall.
scared what your bet is. Are you going next?
No, you're next.
Okay. I say 30 seconds.
I like that one too.
Nice. And I say 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Okay. I feel real good about this. I feel really good.
You got a nice
I
window.
feel really good.
Let me lock that in.
I should have picked 30
Yeah,
seconds.
so that's the thing. If there is a wall in front of you, do you just walk
Well, you
into
could,
the wall?
I mean,
Yeah.
specifically on Hoth, he could be in.
Wait.
He could be indoors.
Can the stipulation be that if there is an option for you to turn and head into battle, you have to head into battle?
that's a different.
no.
That's a different
Nope.
bet.
Holding the left analog
Oh
stick
my
forward.
God.
Oh yeah.
That's why Blood went 6 minutes. That's why he did it. But Brandon's been playing the game. He feels good that he will die in 30 seconds.
I think 30 is the magic number.
Well, it depends on what team you're on too, right?
Kind.
If you're rebel, you could be
everything.
inside.
Yeah.
The
and
difference.
last
The
forever.
difference between our bets and Blood and Kyle Bossman's bets is whether you are indoors or outdoors.
Yeah.
Right.
If,
Yeah,
we,
yeah,
if we
yeah.
launch that map and we see sunshine, it's you or me, buddy.
You're 50, yeah.
This bet needs to be overseen and to make sure that it's on the up and up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right. Definitely allowed to
because
oversee
the
it.
very important factor is that we have to jump into the match right away.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
like
if you jump into a thing that's been going on for 2 minutes, you're gonna last 4 seconds.
We had a very interesting bet this week, or last week, for Fallout 4. We're looking at the top 11 most recent PC reviews on GameRankings.com for Fallout 4. How many times would I count the word Skyrim? So I bet 5. Jones bet 0 times. He was having
Zero times?
He had a lot of faith in reviewers. At least-
I don't like the way you said that.
At least in the Super Seat bet 8 times and Bloodworth bet 12. Earlier today, an 11th review was added. Elise would have won, but this 11th review said Skyrim 3 more times, bringing it up to 10. 2 times in the final paragraph. I got to call out this reviewer. Game Industry News. 3 Skyrims in the review, 2 in the last paragraph. So Bloodworth wins it because it came to 10 and he bet 12 and he gets that win.
Nice.
That was tight.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, no,
Wait.
I did that math wrong.
What
It's a
did
tie.
Elise- Yeah, I was gonna say
We need a
that's tie.
tiebreaker. Holy cow! Oh no, we got to do a tiebreaker.
Wait. So what, the number was.
I'm so
7.
invested in this
The
right
number
now.
was 7 before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 7.
Because you
Oh
didn't
my
say what
God.
the number was
I had
before.
a perfect topic for this tiebreaker game too. What was it?
Okay, so you both get points. So it stays a tie. Super C. Oh my God, it stays a tie. We'll have to do tiebreaker. We'll have Brandon give a topic if you don't have one, Ian.
Yeah, I had the perfect one. It was gonna be so hard.
Okay.
Wait,
but funny.
But I want to do the tiebreaker.
You do. You do.
Oh,
the
yeah, you're
tiebreaker.
gonna do it.
The winner gets to do
The closing.
the closing and all the final words and everything, and the Twitter handle, and then loser gets nothing but a point. So Brandon.
You're putting this on me?
Yeah, give
You're
him
the moderator.
Yeah, that makes it's cheating if I give it. I am the moderator.
I have no idea.
Of
I
a
literally-
topic, a thing.
I got
It's
one.
not a
Okay.
topic. It's like a
I
whole.
thought of this isn't
Yeah.
the one I thought of before, but
It's a
this
category.
This one would be fun.
Okay.
Okay.
So, shoot, who goes first? They're tied.
I don't get to be here every week.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Ben will go
Super
first.
Seat.
We'll let Super Seat go first.
Also, yeah.
Okay.
Supersede's in the points trailer.
So Ben, Ian's going to give you a category. You say something inside of that category, and we're going to bounce back and forth between you and Blood. The person who pauses too long.
Oh, okay, that's how
Oh, that's
yeah.
how we're doing. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's it,
yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible at this. Okay.
Okay.
This one's not that hard.
Okay. Ian, give him a category.
Okay. Female main characters.
Joanna Dark.
Shepard.
Wonder Woman.
Zelda.
Hey,
I don't-
hold on. Time
wait a
out.
minute.
Female main characters. I think Zelda is not a main character.
Why not?
Yeah, oh, sure
You
she
said
is,
main
yeah.
character, not.
She's the
Protagonist.
She's not the protagonist.
she's the titular
I
character.
was,
bro.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
she's pretty main.
video games, but I didn't say that. So
Okay. All right. Sorry. Time back in.
Well, I don't know. I think Blood took that one.
he was. Ben
No,
was
I said
hesitant.
timeout after
Yeah,
Wonder
he said
Woman.
timeout. He said
Okay,
timeout.
sorry. Time
All right,
back
all right.
in.
Should we do another category?
We should do another category because I effed it
All
up
right,
so
all right.
bad. Okay.
Countries that start with P.
Oh my God, Ben, go.
Peru.
Panama.
That's blood.
Okay.
The person who goes first
I
is
guess
rough.
blood either way.
The first person who goes first in that game is rough.
Paraguay? I don't know. I don't know where you
Portugal?
go. Yeah,
Portugal.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
Paraguay was
Yeah.
the one I had locked and loaded.
Yeah. That-
Philippines.
That's
Philippines.
a nasty one, Ian. That's a nasty
Sorry.
I'm not good at this game.
one. Poland?
Poland, yeah, man.
Panau from Just Cause 2.
But no. It's that. Hold on. And everybody at home,
Pan Am.
it's very, very easy to just start listing them after you're not in that situation. It's
Yeah.
so easy to do that. But when you're in that zone,
Oh,
that
and you
game's
panic.
impossible.
You're so panicked.
Yeah.
I would like to offer my opinion that Ben is dumb. Just gonna
No,
say
not fair.
Wow.
Okay, so current score: Super Seat 15, Blood 15.
This is a great place to work.
Jones
We're now hiring. Please
Boston
come and join
10.
our team.
No, don't say we're now hiring. That's gonna be awful.
Because Ben's gonna quit.
Just-
Yep, I'm out. I'm done. Too dumb for
I
GT.
reviewed Fallout 4. I'm out.
So, Blood, you have earned the right and responsibility to tell everyone what your Twitter name is. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with that we discussed throughout this episode. You get to sign us off with your trademark sign-off. And you get to promote any video you want on GameTrailers.com.
My Twitter name is at DBloodWar2. Final word. Man, I don't know that I
You agreed with all of us throughout this entire
super
episode?
disagreed with anything.
Okay.
So yeah, that's cool. I like. I'll make sure people understand that I actually like Fallout, even though the last thing I said was sort of negative. It's overwhelming, but I like
Sure.
it. And promote a video. I guess the only thing I've got right now, my Rise of the Tomb Raider review. You can watch that. I also like that game for people that seem to be confused about that one. And 8.5 is not an awful score.
I'm sorry, 0.5?
8.5.
Oh, okay.
Just
Gave it a
comparing you to
0.5.
other
Yeah, I thought he gave it a 0.5. All right.
But
Yeah,
a good,
but
but a high point.
Better than a 0. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I definitely disagree with the people who are talking about one of the best games of this year, and I'm like, what? Okay. Anyways,
You know what,
That's final word. He's got
you know
a
what
final-
he
got a
recalls
final
it as Witcher goggles.
what's that?
He says you have
you've got
Witcher,
Witcher goggles.
I've got a lot of other games other
And
than
so
Witcher
you,
that
you
go
look at
above
other
Tomb
games
Raider.
with a different perspective after The Witcher. Do you know what I mean?
Please, somebody Photoshop Witcher goggles, please.
What would those
There
look
are
like?
those merchants.
Please.
Those merchants have those big.
Would they give them cat eyes, or
frame
would they look
glasses.
like little Geralts?
Yeah, they would look like little Geralts. Like they have his hair, a little like wig
Geralts.
around the side. Yeah.
I think they're just like Witcher colored glasses.
Well, first of all,
That's
they were
confusing.
goggles.
Witcher
Goggles.
colored goggles.
Yeah.
We got a Nintendo
Witcher
Direct,
goggles?
I know,
Yeah.
I know. We're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to live stream it, that's for sure.
We
but
will
we'll
see
catch
you
it.
before the next blood moon rises.
I love.